The season is almost over after all, and West Virginia's got some big decisions to make about who to pay, who we're going to pay and bring back here next year for the year two rebuild. And I've got an update on the recruiting situation at West Virginia.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. Welcome back into Locked On West Virginia, baby, where we're talking about the football team again tonight on this Thanksgiving night. Hopefully you guys had a great day of turkey and dressing and the whole thing. Going to be brought to you by FanDuel on this one. Right now, FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5. It'll make you holla. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today to get started. And thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we talk about your team, Mountaineers, every single day. I'm not alone. I decided to have somebody that everybody wanted to see for Thanksgiving on tonight. The turkey himself, Jackson Johnson.
How you doing tonight, good buddy? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, man. Thanks for coming on. You, sir, are a scholar and a gentleman.
I did my best.
Huh?
I did my best, good buddy.
I did my best. Yeah. So, all right. So let's start with the recruiting update. I think at the end of the day, West Virginia has probably reined in two really good players, right? I don't think how do I put this? This update is not about the two, I don't think. So it's a separate player. It could be part of the two. I don't know for sure. But, just got done talking with JUCO pass rusher Josh Warren a little bit ago. I saw some things on him the other day where he was wearing a West Virginia shirt during some of his workouts. So I reached out to ask him about it, like, hey, what's up with that? And we got to talking or whatever. And obviously we know West Virginia already in his top 5. He said he now has a top 3, and West Virginia, it's very serious with West Virginia. So I asked him if I could report that, and he said yes. So JUCO pass rusher Josh Warren now saying things have gotten very serious with West Virginia. I'm imagining West Virginia is probably almost to the finish line here, and you could probably be pretty optimistic about this one. He is a really, really good player, really good pass rusher. So something to be excited about, guys. At least, I mean, I know it's not the recruiting update that a lot of us are waiting for, but I can tell you on that update, it's going to be probably signing day before we even know. So that's just my best guess. It could happen tomorrow, sure, on a Friday news dump, but I would probably say, because you don't want other teams coming in, especially in the Big 12, trying to pull these guys away, or locally, if you will. So West Virginia probably going to keep some of these to themselves until signing day. Josh Warren is 6'3", 230. Some of the stuff out there on him says he runs in the 4.5, 4.6 range in the 40, which is incredible. He's had a ton of production at that level. He was a freshman last year at the JUCO level and just had one hell of a year. So we'll break him down in the second segment. Who is he? What kind of ball player is he? What are his strengths? But I did want to get that out to you early because I did highlight it in an X post that I was going to give you guys the recruiting update. So now that I've done that, let's move on to who should West Virginia pay, Jackson? Going into this next season, obviously you're going to have some hired hitmen to get this thing rolling in year 2 for RichRod. And there are some players you just can't afford to lose. I know you looked over the roster and came up with a couple.
Oh, yeah. Scotty Fox is a must, obviously. And Jahiem White and Ty Edwards are the other few.
Any reason you picked those?
They bring that thunder and lightning together. I mean, like, you bring out Jahiem White and Ty Edwards together, it's like thunder and lightning all over.
Right.
Scotty Fox is a magician. We saw the magic he made this year. I think he could make magic again with another year under his belt. Just imagine him in a full season for 2026.
Yeah, with the full off season and everything, it is exciting to think about. It's very exciting to think about. Okay, so here's how I did this. I came up with I removed all the seniors from the equation, then I went back over the roster and picked through it. And I didn't mention a lot of the freshmen. So here's the thing. This is a list of players who have played this year. If they're a freshman and we know they're going to be pretty good, you can just make an assumption that I mean them too. But some of these freshmen, even though we like them, there's no guarantee we're going to keep them. We may nudge them out, bring other guys in, you know. It's going to be a juggling act for Rich Rodriguez and company. So I wanted to just go over the list of 30 guys that I chosen that I think have to be back next year on this roster. You at least need to start with these core 30. I think it'll be a great start. So let's roll. Scotty Fox Jr. is a must. You're right, Jackson. I think he's the only quarterback on this roster that you have to bring back. Some people have said Nico. I don't think Nico is going to be interested in coming back and playing a backup role this late into his career. It's just, you know, I mean, it would be great if he could. I think from a culture, from a competitiveness standpoint, he would be a solid backup for sure, and potentially could still, you know, realize his potential now that we know he was playing with a bad foot all year. But, you know, Scotty Fox Jr. is the ticket. You're right, Jahiem White. You're right, Ty Edwards. And I'll throw in Dior Hubbard as well as a must. You got to bring him back next year.
Yes.
But, I mean, you know, is he replaceable? I suppose he is. But at the same time, he's shown you a lot. And I think he knows the offense. And you just want guys that have played snaps in that second year. So he matters. Cam Vaughn is right there in the top 3 of anybody. Any list you put out, Cam Vaughn's going to be on it, Jackson.
No doubt. Like, Cam Vaughn is an amazing asset for the West Virginia team. Like we saw the magic he was producing anytime he was playing this year. He's going to bring a lot of magic throughout the year 2026.
Rodney Gallagher, obviously, you know, hometown hero still. I think he'll be great next year with another year in this offense. He just needs a quarterback that he can sync up with through the offseason and ride through the season with. You know, he's had so much turnover every year. It's not really – I don't want to give him a ton of blame. Christian Hamilton is somebody I think should come back along with Cyrus Traw. Those are the wide receivers. So be looking for West Virginia to be heavy in the wide receiver market, which is why Chris Henry is such a big deal, right? Chris Henry Jr. Tight end wise, obviously you can't go any further than Ryan Ward, right? I mean, he's got to come back. I think he's got a ton of potential. You know, some of these guys are, I guess, replaceable, but why would you want to have to if you believe in these guys, you know? So, but I think Ryan Ward's on the list is all I'm saying. If he doesn't come back, I'm not heartbroken necessarily because I haven't seen everything he can do yet, but I've seen enough from him to say, oh yeah, he's got a future. Now let's get the offensive line. I think there's right around 5 or 6 guys you want to bring back next year. That's Malik Agbo. That's Landon Livingston. That's Donovan Haslam. That's Nick Cray. That's Josh Isosa. And that's Robbie Martin.
Oh,
you know, you probably starts and ends with Nick Cray, right? Not starts and ends with, but it starts with Nick Cray, who's played really well at times this year. 6'6", 316. He's only a redshirt sophomore. So much room to grow. You give him another offseason, and he's got all these snaps under his belt. He's going to be somebody a lot of people are going to come after, and you're going to have to pay him something to keep him, in my opinion. As well as Landon Livingston, Malik Agbo, Donovan Haslam, Josh Isosa, Robbie Martin, who, you know, are all potentially going to step up and be good players this coming year. On the defensive line, you've got Asani Redwood and Corey McIntyre Jr. I think you got to have both these guys back. Corey McIntyre's really started to play well down the stretch here, getting a lot more snaps. I think he's finally coming into his own a little bit. Give him another offseason, and he could really hit his stride as somebody that we've been looking towards. Marshawn Oxley is an edge guy that you got to have back next year, obviously. I think he's proven himself as an edge rusher that can play and has played well at times this year. At linebacker, it starts and it ends with Ashton Woods. I really do think Ashton Woods has a bright, bright future. He is a freshman this year, really wowed me at times. It's unfortunate he had the injury situation that he did, Jackson, but when you have a freshman linebacker performing like he did, you gotta figure out a way to bring him back.
Yeah.
So along with Ben Bogle, obviously, and Ben Bogle, who has really played well, athletic, always around the ball. I think he's capable. He'll be back as he has one more year to go. Safeties, Nick Taylor, we saw him as a sophomore this year have a really big game, and then he kind of fell off a little bit after he got nicked up. And Israel Boyce, who we saw in the starting lineup for weeks, but never saw him very much until a little bit later. And then obviously you look at the freshmen. I separated the freshmen on purpose because I think, the freshmen are in a different category in most cases because they didn't, a lot of them didn't play a lot. Obviously you had guys like Chris Phillippo that played some, but then for the most part, there's a list of freshmen that I think they came in with enough fanfare that you probably want to keep, right? And they've already got the culture. Tyshawn Dews is one. Carmarius Bomar is one. Chris Phillippo, obviously the nickel who was starting in the very first game, but we didn't see him. It was a weird situation, but, I do think he's played a lot down the stretch here and has a ton of potential at 6'4", 208 as a safety. Julian Horton is another one. Cam Torber, I'm a huge fan of his at linebacker. Michael Hasty, another linebacker. Wilnerson Telemac, and Brandon Caesar. I think if you can keep these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 freshmen from this year's class, that would be a nice round number to keep heading into next year. And it gives you a foundation to work with in year 2 for RichRod. If you can keep these 30 players, and you're going to have to add anywhere between 60 and 70 more again, but you're going to have a way better starting point than you did last time, Jackson.
No doubt about it. And, just hearing you bring up all these names that should definitely come back for 2026. I'm hearing Carol of the Bells, man. I'm hearing that Carol of the Bells song for Christmas.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to break then. On the other side, I was going to tell you guys about the defensive end that West Virginia has potentially gotten here in Josh Warren Jr., who is one of the best defensive ends in the JUCO. We'll talk about him next and break him down. This episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Right now with FanDuel, guys, the NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. Keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, new customers bet $300 if your first $5 bet wins, but you can't win if you don't play. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Segment 2, we're going to crack a lemonade.
Ice water dew tonight.
Ice water dew for Jackson. All right, Josh Warren. We talked about him in the open just because I didn't want to make you guys wait. 6'3", 235-pound pass rusher that is an absolute stud of an athlete. He's from Belglade, Florida, so he is a Florida kid. He played at Tampa, Wharton High School in Tampa, and, he really played well this year for Georgia Military College. Full qualifier, December graduate. He'll be eligible to transfer and play immediately. He arrived there as a true freshman and had a great season for them. Oh. He played 22 total tackles, 15 solos, 7 assisted, right around 10 sacks, and 1 forced fumble, 2 pass breakups. Average right around 2.2 tackles per game. He had a multi-sack performance against Central Georgia Tech. He had multiple sacks against Sussex County on September 13th, and he contributed to a defense that held opponents to low scores and blowouts, and he grinded out some wins, man, like against Lackawanna, which is we all know is one of the best JUCOs in the country. So he is a pass rusher with an explosive first step, and man, can he bend the edge once he gets on there, and he really disrupts plays in the backfield. His sack totals as a freshman demonstrate to me his natural hunting instincts in the pocket. He is a missile for the quarterback, and he's got a relentless motor, high effort player, really pursues sideline to sideline and does not give up on plays, which I think fits RichRod's hard edge archetype, Jackson.
Oh man, I'm looking at some of these highlights of him, and he's a magician.
He can play, man. He's got 4.5, 4.6 speed if you look at what's reported, which is really good for a guy his size, 6'3", 230, 240. He's your typical tweener. He's not a guy that's going to put his hand in the dirt and set the edge unless he's just super strong, which sometimes that happens. He's a guy that's pass rushing. That's what he does. And I think he can line up as a stand-up edge or hand in the dirt defensive end. He is effective against the pass. Or against the run, too. It's just he's not like Eddie Kelly Jr., 290 pounds, 6'6", where he's just going to set the edge. Like, he's going to do it with speed and try to get back there. So, the weaknesses, obviously, I think you look at his size. That's really the only weakness I see. His experience is another one, potentially. Run defense is solid but not dominant, so he'll have to get better there. But, man, he is a really good player. He's rated right around 87, which is good, obviously. Top 15 among JUCO players. He's the number 3 edge in JUCO. And he's got offers from Houston, SMU, Maryland, USF. So he's got a lot of Division I offers. And he has visits he just came off a visit from Florida State. He's going to Auburn soon. So, he's got a ton of potential. And I think a really good player. I gave him a really high score. I did. I gave him a 44.1 on the composite. Physicality is a 9.0. He's really the ability to engage blockers, deliver hits, and hold up in the trenches is pretty damn good for a guy his size. His aggressiveness is an 8.8, Jackson. His willingness to attack the gaps, pursue ball carriers, and disrupt plays it's like a magician, like you said. His resilience is an 8.9. Bouncing back from setbacks, man. He's had to do that. He loves playing through contact as well and maintaining effort, but he's had a few setbacks along the way, particularly why he had to go to JUCO. Competitiveness, if you look at him in one-on-one situations, he finishes, man. He is not giving up on the play, and he competes in high-stake moments at a pretty high level, 8.7. Mental toughness. He's had adversity already. Like I said, you don't go to JUCO right away without some kind of adversity right out of high school. 8.7 for a total composite score of 44.1. I really like this player. I think he would be an impact player for West Virginia. As my mascot jumps in here, get down. And the cats, man, I swear, you never know with the cat. I knew she was going to try to jump up on that blanket. So I do think he's a guy that can make an impact at West Virginia right away. So let's go to break one more time, and we'll jump into Jackson's World of College Football right after the break. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by Jackson's favorite, Omaha Steaks. Holidays feel a little easier, when you get the perfect gift. Omaha Steaks makes it too simple for you to get. Whether you're treating yourself to season or sending something memorable to family and friends, Omaha Steaks delivers handcrafted perfection right to their door. And this week is the best time to jump in because their cyber sale is here, and the deals are huge. I've actually given Omaha Steaks as a gift before. This is a real thing. And the reaction is always the same usually. It's pretty exciting. It's an exciting gift to get, especially when the box arrives, and even bigger smiles when that thing hits the grill, the pan. So,
and especially with 50% off and an extra $35 off this Black Friday.
Right. So you can save on unforgettable gifts with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and an extra 20% off select favorites during their cyber sale, and for an additional 35% off, use promo code college at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code college, where the terms apply. See the site for details. All right, we back here with Jackson Johnson, diving into another world of college football. What's up, man?
Well, what is up is the Big Ten. As we are in segment 3 and get ready for some glee.
Absolutely.
And we start off with Black Friday between the Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Iowa Hawkeyes, a Black Friday staple since the year of 2011.
Yeah.
And it's on CBS in Lincoln, Nebraska. And unfortunately, the Nebraska Cornhuskers have not been able to get it done against the Hawkeyes.
There's a couple 7, what's this, a 7 and an 8 win team or 2 7-win teams?
2 7-4 teams.
Yeah. So these are good football teams, not elite football teams, gritty, tough.
Yeah.
I think Nebraska made a move up this year, but I think they need to win out. For their fans have been waiting a long time for a winner, have they not?
Yes, they have.
So, for me, it's like, when's that going to officially happen for them? Because Nebraska is one of those schools that just flat out expect to be in the mix. So is Iowa for sure. Kirk Ferentz has done a great job there, but at the end of the day, the Fighting Dana Holgerson's offense will be the difference. I got Nebraska at home.
I am reluctantly going with Iowa on this one. I want to see Nebraska win this one, but I have to go with Iowa on this one in a 21-17 fashion. I think Nebraska is still hurting from Dylan Raiola being out for the season.
Yeah, that is a factor that I forgot about. But yeah, I'm still going to pick the Fighting Dana Holgersons.
I hope it happens. I hope it does. And
I'm not a big fan of Dana, but I just like saying that.
There you go.
What we got next?
On NBC to cap out Black Friday for the Big Ten, we've got the Indiana Hoosiers and the Purdue Boilermakers on NBC.
Yeah, I mean, I hate this for Purdue. They've been in a lot of games this year, but they've also been blown out in some games. Obviously, they've had a rough first year. I don't know, man. I think. Do you think some people are questioning? I'm curious. Do you think some people are questioning Barry Odom at this point, or do you think it's year one?
It's year one. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater on Barry Odom.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
Well, obviously they've got a long ways to go. Indiana should destroy them thoroughly.
Oh yeah,
it should be a Heisman moment for QB1 in Indiana.
Yep, Fernando Mendoza. And Indiana is going to win this one 48-14, chewing them up like some leftover Thanksgiving stuffing.
Oh, God. Yeah, for sure. Go next. What's up next, Jackson?
And we start off Saturday with the game. The 2025 edition of the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry on Fox since 2017, as we got the number 1 Ohio State Buckeyes 11-0 going up against the Michigan Wolverines 9-2. Now Ohio State is already in the playoffs, but will they be in the Big Ten title game, win or lose, is going to be the question. I will suggest looking at some Big Ten title scenarios from Patrick Murphy from Buttnuts 247, because I can tell you right now, he's got some crazy scenarios on how an Ohio State-Michigan rematch could happen. That's only with Michigan winning. How it has to happen, that's why you look at that article. But as for the Michigan Wolverines, they are 9-2. They win this game. They're in the playoffs. No questions asked.
Yeah. If you're a Big 12 fan, you need to be rooting against Michigan in this game. It's just a fact. BYU, they're trying to snub BYU. They are. They're trying to snub BYU. BYU deserves to be in the playoff. Utah can make their case too. Obviously, Texas Tech is in no matter what. But Ryan Day has a Michigan problem, and even though this isn't John Harbaugh, Sharon Moore has having a great year for them, and I think they're going to be the more physical, tough team. Ohio University took this Ohio State squad into the second half, and I think Michigan can do so as well. Ohio State's been good all year. I can't deny that. Sayan's a great player. Bryce Underwood, a better player in my opinion. I'm going to go with Michigan to win this game 26-20. Low scoring, defensive battle, Big Ten style. And Ryan Day really gets heated up. We're losing another game to Michigan. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. They rematch it in the playoff and they beat him again.
Oh, man.
Do you think he would get fired if that happened?
I don't think so, but they would be really mad. They would be mad. I mean, I heard a Michigan guy say that he would throw a stake at Sharon Moore like after the loss to USC, but there's probably gonna be a Buckeye fan somewhere out there saying that about Ryan Day. But
Yeah.
if that were to happen, I would say, and reluctantly I say this, I have to go with Ohio State in a 21-17 fashion. I feel like this year is where the losing streak ends. The losing streak ends for the Buckeyes.
Just like it did for Tennessee.
Yep. Just like it did for Tennessee.
Tennessee and Gainesville.
Yep.
That was one hell of a streak too. How long was that one going on?
That was going on since 2005.
It's a long streak.
Yep. And Tennessee got their first win in Gainesville last Saturday since the dark ages of the internet, 2003.
Yeah. So
There's no YouTube. It's basically the dark ages.
I'm rooting with my hatred here. Obviously, I hate Ohio State worse than any team. And I hate them as much as Pitt. So for me, it's like their downfall makes me happy. So happy. If they lose, I will be on College Football Insiders laughing.
Oh, man.
College Sports Insiders, I mean.
Oh, man.
What we got next?
Well, we've got a sad little lineup afterwards, but this game isn't sad. The Oregon Ducks going up against the Washington Huskies on CBS.
Yeah, this is a sneaky one here. This is a sneaky one in Jackson.
Oh,
obviously, if you're a Big 12 fan, you're rooting for Washington in this game once again.
I think Oregon's screwing y'all either way, unfortunately.
Even if they lose?
Yeah, because unfortunately, they've got that brand bias.
I mean, it's possible. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely possible. This is an 8-3 Washington team that's capable of winning this game. If you look at Desmond Williams, one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country, week after week, nobody ever sees him because they're always on late. I really like him, and I'm picking Oregon to win, but yeah.
I got the Oregon Ducks winning this one in a 35-24 fashion over the Huskies.
Yeah.
But then we got the Paul Bunyan Ats, the oldest rivalry in college football. The Wisconsin Badgers going up against the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Yeah. Paul Bunyan's axe.
Paul Bunyan.
Hey, Wisconsin, man, they pulled one off last week against Illinois who just fallen apart. No idea what's going on there.
I think that vote of confidence for Fickle has just given the Badgers a resurgence. And who knows, maybe it can set up some momentum for 2026.
You look at what they did against Washington and what they did against Illinois. They played well in those games. And they won them with defense, so they do have a defense that can play a little. Against a Minnesota team that is a game. This Minnesota team has, they feasted on the inferior teams in the conference, right? That's what they do. They never beat the good teams. They never lose to the bad ones. So 6-4. I'd say the spread's probably, what's the spread? -3. With Minnesota.
-1.5 Wisconsin.
Wisconsin favored. Wow. Yeah, I'm not shocked. I was going to go Wisconsin.
I'm going to go Wisconsin in a 21-17 fashion over Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a good one. And then we got a battle for bowl eligibility in Piscataway, New Jersey, between the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Yeah, I don't think this one's going to be close, to be honest. I think Penn State's going to stomp them. I just do. I think they found something under Terry Smith. I think he's ignited that fan base. He's ignited the players. He's a very motivating guy, very different from James Franklin in some ways. And this is a Rutgers team that's just not that great of an offensive team. They're really not. I mean, when they play teams that are anything worth anything, they haven't scored over 20 points versus a good team this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think Penn State's going to win this one in a 38-17 fashion. And I talked about this with Patrick Murphy from Buttnuts 247 on yesterday's episode of the Jackson. And you know what my comparison to 2025 Penn State's like? They're like a college football equivalent of the 2011 Eagles. They had all these high expectations, but then when they realized they could have a losing record, they stepped up their game. And that's what the Nittany Lions have been doing ever since they realized, oh, we could miss a bowl game. We better step it up, some boys. And
is that it? That's the last game.
We got 3 more. We got Maryland, Michigan.
Oh, we better rush through then.
Oh, yeah. Maryland, Michigan State. Michigan State's a 3.5 favorite, and it's on Bot Sports 1.
Yeah, that's an interesting game. I'll go Maryland on this one.
I'm going to go Michigan State. Screw those Terrapins.
I don't like Maryland, so hopefully they don't.
Oh, they won't. They won't. Michigan State's going to win this one in a 28-20 fashion. Nice. And we've got the USC-UCLA rivalry on NBC and on the Peacock app at the LA Memorial Coliseum.
USC
42-17 over the Bruins. And finally, we've got Northwestern and Illinois on Fox.
I mean, I'm not betting against Northwestern.
Well, I'm going to go with the Illinois Fighting Illini, especially for friend of Locked On West Virginia and a good friend of mine as well, Sonny Verma, who brings that magic on Locked On Illini. I'm going to go with the Illinois Fighting Illini in a 28-17 victory.
How dare you? Nice. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I was just picking games. I really wasn't putting too much thought in it, to be honest. But yeah, if somebody's asking how I picked Maryland, I just didn't even think about it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, Swabby G. Well, it's gonna be okay. Michigan State's gonna beat Maryland. I promise you.
Honestly, I'm running over on time, and I was just trying to get out of here. if you want me to be honest. So all right. So obviously, big weekend for West Virginia. A lot of different things going on. A lot of people think West Virginia's flipped Chris Henry, which I think we've all kind of figured out that's not happening now. If you're holding on to that, let go, release it. It could happen. This update that just happened isn't about that, is what I'm saying. I'd be pretty shocked. So just keep that in mind. Now, could a further update come out? Yeah, I think it's possible, but I think West Virginia's got a couple really good players, coming in, and we'll be excited about them. There's a reason the main account tweeted it out. So, because I feel like at this point, man, no matter who they say, it's like everybody's going to be let down. So we'll see. Man, you guys can find Jackson on the Jacksonian. He's obviously on the Voice of College Football, Alabama. He's also he does SEC Live. You can find him just about everywhere. Paul Feinbaum, he is the guest. He is the co-host of the Paul Feinbaum Show, and amongst many other things that he does, as his other job as a stand-up comedian and just the many things that he does in life. Thank you so much for coming on, brother.
Oh, thank you for having me on, good buddy. It's always an honor hanging with you, man.
You too, man. Hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully all of you guys had a Thanksgiving in all seriousness. I guess I misspoke earlier. I was under the assumption that both had passed away in DC, and I just found out earlier that the one lady just passed away. It's a rough thing, man. It's a rough thing. So hold on to yours tight, because you just never know what can happen. Thank you guys so much for being here on Thanksgiving. Like I said, give me your time, donating your time. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen. For being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, we talk about your team every single day. Please check out Locked On Big 12 next, as Drake Toll leads the conversation with America's Conference. That's right, the Locked On Big 12, as he's just killing it over there right now. Like I said, 100,000 view videos, and I mean, he just crushes it on the daily basis there. Really proud of him. Thank you guys so much for being here. Jackson says, roll damn tide on Saturday. And I said, well, yeah, but don't forget to cue those country roads. Good night.